With all of the negative headlines dominating the news these days, it can be difficult to spot signs of progress. What makes you optimistic about the future? Solar energy plus desalination plus gene therapy. Using gene therapy to build a human that can drink salt water and use sunlight like a plant? Yes, I await the day as well. Behold, Jim, that's just grass. All 7 of my honeybee colonies are currently surviving the winter, and today they're bringing in the first pollen of the year. Edit. Also, please support native bees. For why and how at home, check out Bringing Nature Home by Douglas Tallamy, as well as butterflies like the monarch, and bats. The good news is often quiet and subtle, the bad news is always loud. I try to remember that. My students, they handle a complex, globally interconnected society in ways my generation, undergraduate at university in the 1970s, couldn't hold a candle to. Any color, any sexual orientation, any disability, any nationality, it's all good, so long as they're not an asshole. We may be approximating Drive, Martin Luther King's hope for a world where people are judged by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. Bee population is on the rise. If we could work together to save the bees, we can deal with climate change. I mean, I haven't heard much about ISIS recently. That's gotta be a good sign. They no longer control anything meaningful anymore. They're just your garden variety terrorist group now. Why do we even have that garden? Advancements in medicine and gene therapy. The CRISPR technology has me very excited. Also, the James Webb Space Telescope is going to bring about many new discoveries. Advancements in health studies and science for health has improved living conditions tenfold and continue to do so. So that makes me pretty optimistic. No one lives forever, no one. But with advances in modern science and my high-level income, it's not crazy to think I can live to be 245, maybe 300. ETA, this is a quote from Talladega Nights. I'm not being serious, smile. They say the first human who will live to 150 has already been born. I believe I am that human. Edit. Holy shit, I just realized Bill Gates was the one who asked this question. Thanks Bill, for all the karma. Space, so much is unknown right now. Excited to see what can come in the future. Understanding of history. We are at a certain point in time, during which we are well aware of what happened in the past. This is a newly available, highly useful feature of our generation. Hopefully it lasts censorship. Mental illness awareness is growing rapidly, and people are more and more willing to assist those in need. Not only that, but people with mental illness are become less and less ashamed of said illnesses and actually seeking out help. Stigma goes both ways. Edit. Stop bringing up gun politics on my comment, you goddamned vultures. God, I'll never forget the day I called off at work because my anxiety was flaring up hard. My bosses took it seriously, sent me a nice email saying they understood it was serious and thanking me for how hard I was working. They've got my loyalty for life because they took it seriously. The fact that humanity is getting another mini space race going on. I'd love to see a man set foot on Mars in my lifetime. That, and of course just getting to spend time with all my friends to play Dungeons and Dragons every week. Edit. Am fine with my top comment being about D&D and space. Let's do D&D and space, bois. I'm reminded of Sam's speech to Frodo and Osgiliath in the Two Towers. It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo, the ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were, and sometimes you didn't want to know the end. Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass. A new day will come. And when the sun shines it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you, that meant something, even if you were too small to understand why. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. Because they were holding on to something. That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. Shared collaborative projects like Wikipedia proving that people are inherently good. Wikipedia, you're welcome, college students. Just remember to use the sources given in the Wikipedia page, not Wiki itself as your reference. People are beginning to realize that things don't change on their own. More people are taking action to help out and change the world as a whole. There's still people like you that donates like half of their money every year, or whatever. Carrot fist bum. Holy shit, I didn't realize Bill Gates was the op until I saw your comment. Removed. Reruns of Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers. Got drunk one night and watched some Bob Ross on Netflix and it was a revelation. Man. It's impossible to feel bad when you're watching him paint. So much joy. I guess that's why they called it the joy of painting. Happy little trees. That every day millions of people go to work in order to provide for their families, come home, talk about inane things, etc. The world over consists mostly of people with similar wants and similar needs no matter from where they hail or what they look like, and the vast majority of the time it just works. One tiny lapse in coordination and it could all come crumbling down, but mostly the world marches on. It's a brilliant blue ball of common humanity, and it pays to remember sometimes that for all that's horrible in the world, we're surrounded by a lot of good. Hi Bill, I think we're making great progress with renewable energy and am hopeful that my children's generation will have a chance to fix the mess we made. Deleted. I read every response before scrolling up and seeing it's Bill Gates. Right there with you, Space Whale. As someone with mental health issues, I love that the field is getting more attention and there's becoming less of a stigma of having a mental illness. Smile. The plummeting price of solar and wind energy. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I will be investing it in solar. I quit smoking today. This is the most peaceful time in human history, and it is getting better. The better angels of our nature, and the fact a billionaire has a platform to communicate 1v1 with everyday people. Thank you Reddit. /r/uplifting news exists, and it still gets content. We should be circulating good news rather than constantly refreshing bad news. Usually those headlines bring you down while bringing you up. Dog recovers from years of abuse. Mother jailed after torturing children. I would like to make a plug for our /it's Nodalbat as well. I made it several years ago while depressed in grad school, and am just getting it running again. It's happy news, both in the news and personal stories from Reddit users. There is a small blurb in the week called It's Not All Bad, which inspired this subreddit, and every new issue of the week I try to go find the primary stories related to the week's little blurbs so everyone can read them. My dog, mainly. Internet forums like Reddit, where a one-line question can pump out 1,000 nice answers ranging from global improvements to cat pictures in 30 minutes. Also, my children and how they already have it better than I did when I was young, even though I didn't have that much problems back then either. Keep on rocking as a great man, Bill. The growing acceptance of people who are different. It might be a long slow battle, but we are moving in the right direction. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. We have new videos every day. Here's a meme for you to enjoy. A lot of people are saying SpaceX and Elon Musk without really expanding, so I will. Commercial spaceflight, it's literally here right now, but it's going to get even cheaper in the future. The next step will be space tourism, but that won't be accessible to the average person for a few decades at least. Space construction, we've already done this with space stations, but cheaper commercial spaceflight will encourage larger buildings in space. Instead of launching completed modules like we have in the past, we're going to be launching subdivisions of modules that will dwarf even the ISS. I'm incredibly optimistic about whatever happens to be the next ISS. Asteroid mining, this one we probably won't see in our lifetimes, unless the futurists are right, and the first person to live to 200 is alive today. However, the potential of asteroid mining is astronomical. There are individual asteroids with more platinum and tungsten on them than the entire Earth has available. Once we have these materials in excess, who knows what new developments we'll see. Aluminum used to be exceedingly difficult to refine and rare. Once a reliable refining process was developed, we found a myriad of uses for aluminum that changed the world. I predict we'll see similar benefits from improved access to rare metals found abundantly in asteroids. Space tourism. Now that we've got commercial spaceflight, and space construction is on the horizon, space tourism will become a booming industry. I'd be excited to spend a week on a luxury space station in the future. Mars, we're definitely going at some point, whether it is publicly or privately funded. I doubt there are any monsters there, or that we'll have any visitors forced to grow potatoes with their excrement. However, Mars is the next logical destination for humanity's domination of the solar system. I hope I live to see the first colonization effort. The constant technological advancement we're seeing right now, especially in fields like medicine. Your work, giving away so much money is truly commendable, and I thank you for it. Oh shit, that was Bill Gates. No wonder it's #1 in 20 minutes. Turns out the richest people on the world are also richest in karma too. The fact we still are allowed to have negative headlines. This comment is very underrated. As long as the bad news are still news, it's all good. Never really thought about it like that. Good point. My Girl Scout troop. They bring me hope that the future generation gives a shit. Smile, and they also give us Thin Mints and Samoas. Whenever there's a grim news story, I always remember Mr. Rogers' mother's advice. I look for the helpers. It's a great reminder that people are inherently good and human ingenuity will get us where we need to go, eventually. I'm 3 months pregnant after the second round of IVF. The fact that my wife and I are going to have a baby together makes me ridiculously optimistic about our future. Marijuana legalization for the USA, which will reduce crime and non-violent offenders in prison, as well as a host of other widespread positive effects. The fact that Bill fucking Gates is taking the time to make an AskReddit thread. RuneScape Mobile. That video of a crow and a kitten who are friends. Medical science breakthroughs in Alzheimer's and dementia, refocusing on space exploration, the future applications of automation and 3D printing, our increasing ability to share more complex ideas over greater distances in shorter spans of time, ETA, renewable energy. Realizing that Bill Gates is the op, meaning we can have personal conversations with people who used to be outside our reach. The world is getting smaller. Ultrasound with the wife Thursday. I am hopeful that Microsoft will one day bring Clippy back into Microsoft Word. I kind of want a Clippy Pixar movie. I was born with a very rare muscle illness and am rooting very hard for a cure on a genetic level. That is why I participate in any study that is thrown my way by doctors. Reading headlines on research going into human trials is very exciting and gives me great hope for the future. Israel is now a net exporter of fresh water due to desalination technology. More people are actually choosing to believe proven sciences. SpaceX. Working with people directly, I noticed a lot of them are good, generous, honest and benevolent people. These people give me the drive I need to handle things, because I know, we can shape a better future for the people, animals, and the planet. Also puppy gifts. Knowledge of the past. Humanity has made more progress towards giving people longer and better quality of life globally in the last 150 years, than has occurred in the rest of human history. Commercialized space travel. I am optimistic that the younger generation is more progressive than my father's was.